What is up, guys? We are facing Spyro on Expert Mode, which is Scenario 2 of the Marvel Champions Mojomania campaign. And I messed up the first time because I did not read her text box right here, which says Spyro cannot take damage or be stunned, and threat cannot be removed from the main scheme while she is on her escape side right here. So the only way to remove threat on the main scheme is to get her over to her cornered side. And I completely ignored that and messed up my last gameplay. So we're going to try it again here, and we'll see how it goes. So for a setup, you cannot choose to use modular sets that are checked up in the campaign log for the scenario. We play with a horror against Magog, so we're going to be using sitcom, sci-fi, and fantasy against Spyro here. And then if the longshot ally was in play at the end of the last scenario, so against Magog, he was, but we're not going to put him in play because if we put him in play, then his one reviewed effect will trigger because that's to review him. So let's just put him back into the encounter deck, which we can choose to do. And then each player may take one copy of the card they recorded in the campaign log from any player's deck and put it into play under their control. And then add threat to the main scheme equal to the total cost of the cards put into play this way. So we record the Uncanny X-Men, which will be 3 threat added to the main scheme. And this says set each player's hit points to the remaining hit points. Recorded in the campaign log for the previous scenario, we had 11 hit points, but we're just going to put 10 because that's our max hit points here without the Honorary X-Men. And then I think that is it for that. Okay, so let's get Spyro set up here. We play this with 3 modular sets, so it's going to be sitcom, sci-fi, and fantasy, and then put the search for Spyro side scheme in one random show environment in play. Shuffle each other show environment together with the corner treachery. So these environments right here, let's roll the dice. So we're gonna get one random one to start off the game. If it's a 1 or 2, it's going to be sitcom. 3 or 4 will be sci-fi, and then 4 or 5 or 6, that means it's going to be fantasy. So let's roll the dice here, and we got a 4. So 3 or 4, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so it's going to be Mojo Runner, which is a sitcom environment. So this will be, let's put this aside. This would be the environment that we have in play with us. And the constant effect says each minion and ally gains toughness. And then we're going to shuffle the show environments, again, Mojos and Mojo in the middle, the sitcom and fantasy ones with cornered here. I'm going to shuffle all these up. And then basically with Spyro, she is on her escape side. And then she cannot take damage and threat cannot be removed from the main scheme while she is escaped. In order to remove threat from the main scheme or damage her, we must flip her over to her corner side, which we can do whenever we get the cornered treachery card. One of these 3 cards right here. We're going to try to randomize it as much as we can. Okay. And then let's shuffle up a little bit more. All right. And then let's see, we shuffle these 3 modular sets into the encounter deck here. Okay. And then let's advance the main scheme to stage 1B. And this will come in with 1 threat plus the 3 here that we got for the Uncanny X-Men. Force interrupt whenever a show environment would be discarded, place it on the bottom of the show deck instead. So these show environments right here. And then for Search for Spyro, this is a side scheme with 3 threat. And then after the last threat is removed from here, the player who removed that threat can reveal the top card of the show deck and then place 3 more threat back on here. As a hero action, we can take 2 damage to remove 3 threat from here. And then let's go ahead and shuffle up our player deck. I think we have her set up here. And then we're going to draw up to our hand size of 6 in our alter ego. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and let's see what we got. Okay, we got a double. We got Dazzler. And we got Forge here. Well, I like a lot. Let's see. We don't need the priority target. The build support can be really good here. But if we have Forge to get us what we want, we could still play the build support. I think we... Yeah, okay. Let's mulligan in this card. I think these 2 cards here. Each minion ally gains toughness. Do we want the Tackle Brilliance here? Let's keep the Tackle Brilliance. We're going to mulligan this card 1 card and then draw 1 more card back up to our hand size of 6. Okay, let's go ahead and use our constant training action. Search your deck for a tactic upgrade and add it to your hand. So we're going to get exploit weakness and add it to our hand. Let's shuffle up our deck. Then we're going to flip over here to hero form. And then with the Uncanny X-Men says, each of your X-Men allies gets +1 hit point. If each of your characters has the X-Men trait, each of your X-Men allies costs 1 fewer resource to play. So we don't have the X-Men trait in our alter ego. That's why I flipped over hero form. So now we have the X-Men trait. So all of our allies are 1 cost cheaper. So Forge right here is only 1 cost to play because he is an X-Men ally. So this would be 1 resource. So it can play Forge. After Forge enters play, search your deck and discard pile for X-Men or X-Force support and add it to your hand. So let's look through our deck here for an X-Men support. And we're going to let's get Utopia to our hand here. Right here. So we add that to our hand. And we'll shuffle up our deck. And then with the constant effect right here, I gotta remember this. Each minion and ally gains toughness. So Forge does enter play here with toughness. Okay, and then let's see here. Do we play Utopia into a Dazzler? I would like to get out. I think we definitely need Dazzler. If we play Dazzler, we can still get out build support. Clear it up. I'm pretty sure I did that wrong, but that's fine. And then we get out. Yeah, okay. Let's go ahead. We're going to use, or do I just get Utopia? No, I think we just do Utopia. So this would be 2 resources right here, so we can play Utopia. If each of your allies has the X-Men trait, which you currently do, increase your ally limit by 1. And then after an X-Men ally enters play, we can exhaust Utopia to write up another X-Men character. So we're going to have Cyclops thwart here for 2. So bring us from 3 down to 1. And we're going to use this right here as 3 resources because Dazzler's only 3 cost thanks to the Uncanny X-Men to play Dazzler. Whenever she enters play, confuse an enemy. Let's confuse Spyro here. She cannot take damage or be stunned, but she can be confused and a threat cannot be removed from the main scheme while she's in play, but we can throw her off the side scheme here. After Dazzler enters plays, confuse enemy, so we did that. She comes in with toughness because of the Mojo Runner. And then with Utopia's effect, after an X-Men ally enters play, exhaust Utopia to write up another X-Men character. Let's write Cyclops back up. And we are going to thwart for 2 from the search for Spyro and clear off this side scheme here. So this says, after the last threat is removed from here, the player who removed that threat reviews the top card of the show deck. And we placed 3 threat back on here. So we got Mojo in the middle. So when review, discard each other setting environment in play. So we discard the Mojo Runner. And with the force interrupt here, when a show environment is discarded, place on the bottom of the show deck. So this goes on the bottom of the show deck. And we have this one here, which says each obligation gains 1 acceleration icon. And after a player discards an obligation, that player can draw 1 card. Okay, and then let's see. I think we just want to go ahead and do this here. So let's go have Dazzler thwart for 2, Forge will thwart for 1. Let's do it one at a time. So Forge thwarts for 1. This will drop this from 3 down to 2 threat. He will take a consequential damage and lose his tough status card. And then Dazzler's going to thwart for 2, clearing this off. She'll take a consequential damage, lose her tough status card. Then we clear it off again. So now we trigger the effect again. So we reveal the top card of the show deck, which is cornered. And then, so let me see. Flip Spyro to her cornered side. So she flips over here. And then this will cause her 1 review text. If any to resolve, she does not have a 1 review text. And then review the top card of the show deck. Shuffle this card into the show deck. This effect cannot be canceled. So we review another card in the show deck, which is now a game of Mojos. And then we shuffle these 3 cards back into the show deck here. And then we put 3 threat back on the search for Spyro. I'll shuffle these up. Okay, so we got her confused, but she is not going to scheme against us now, but she's going to attack us. So we'll shuffle these up. All right. And then Dazzler took a consequential damage, losing her tough status card. That's going to end our turn. Let's ready back up. Oh, and then for a game of Mojos here, the fantasy environment says each player gets +1 hand size. and there's an amplify icon. So our hand size is currently 6 in our hero form because 5 plus 1. So we're going to draw back up to 6, ending our turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we've got all 3 meditations here. Okay, so it is Spiral's turn. She's going to add 1 to the main scheme. It goes from 4 up to 5. She's going to attack us now. So let's have Forge block this attack. She's hitting with a base of 2, plus a boost card here of 0. So that will knock Forge out. Actually, Forge has plus 1 hit point because of the Uncanny X-Men, where it says each of your X-Men allies gets plus 1 hit point. So he has 3 hit points. She's only doing 2 damage. Oh wait, but because of the Amplify, the Advance has 1 boost, so it is 3 damage. She gets knocked out with his 3 hit points. Okay, and then after she activates, she has a force response. Place 1 teleport counter on her. If there's at least 2 teleport counters, then we remove all of them and flip Spiral back over. And then face on counter card, which is Erratic Teleportation. Surge. If Spiral is on her cornered side, she is place 1 teleport counter on her. So she gets a counter on her. And then if Spiral is on her escape side, you may spend a, yeah, okay, so she's not on her escape side, so we just put 1 teleport counter on her. And then because if there's at least 2 of them, then we remove all of them and we flip Spiral over back to this side. So she has escaped from us again. This card will gain Surge into Mana Drain. When reviewed, choose a non-wild resource type. Then each player draws 2 cards. Each player must discard each card from their hand with the chosen resource type. So non-wild. Let's choose physical because we don't have anything physical in our hand. So we picked physical. We're going to draw 2 cards and discard each physical card from your hand. We don't have any physical cards in our hand here. It's all mentals and energy, so we don't discard anything. And then that is it with the Mana Drain. That was actually really useful. Okay, so she is confused. And then we gotta flip her over again to remove threat from the main scheme. Actually, since she's confused, I'm okay if she activates 1 time, right? Yeah, because she won't flip that over. So I think we can save X to confuse her again. And then I think we flip down here. Get down to free meditation. Play Angel. Oof, we have a lot of no, we can't damage her while she's in this form here. And we could just get all of our thwarting set up. No, I think we just massively thwart everything here because we have all resources. Okay, so we're going to Angel right here says reduce the cost of play by 1 if your identity has a mutant or X-Men trait. We do have the X-Men trait, so it's only 2 costs. Uncanny X-Men will reduce it by 1 cost even further. So it's only 1 cost to play. Let's have Cyclops Lord for 2 from the Search and Spiral, which we can't remove that from because we can remove that from this scheme, just not the main scheme while she's in play. So we drop this down to 1. And then 1 cost to play Angel. Let's use a meditation. 1 cost to play Angel. Right here. After we play him, we can exhaust Utopia. So we can ready up another X-Men character. Let's ready up Cyclops. Angel's going to throw for 1 from the Search for Spiral, clear off the side scheme here. He'll take a consequence of damage. Then we trigger the effect, so we get another show environment, which is cornered. Okay, so flip Spiral to her cornered side. And then, let's see, this will cause her one reviewed effect to trigger. She doesn't have any one reviewed effects. And then after we do that, we review the top card of the show deck. So we lose the Game Mojos and we get Mojo in the middle. So each obligation gains 1 acceleration icon. And we shuffle these 3 cards back to the show deck and we got her flipped over again. So now that she's on her, what is this called? Her corner side, we can remove threat from the main scheme, which is what I want to do. And the Search for Spiral will go back up to 3 threat right here. Shuffle these cards up. Okay. All right, and then let's see. I think we play practice defense on her. We play Polaris, and then we just use an Optic Blast. Okay, so this would be 2 resources here, so we can play Polaris. She's only 2 costs because of the Uncanny X-Men. Whenever she enters play, give an X-Men character a tough stats card. Let's give Cyclops toughness here. And then we're going to play practice defense and attach it to Spiral. So this is an upgrade on her. Attach to enemy. Detached enemy gets -1 attack. And then we want to do that so we can use our Optic Blast ability. Action attack, spend 1 resource of any type to do 3 damage to anyone with the upgrade attached. So now she has the upgrade, we can spend 1 resource right here to do 3 damage to Spiral with our Optic Blast ability. So we hit her for 3. That will bring her from 15 down to 12. Then we're going to have Cyclops Thor for 2 from the main scheme. Drop this down to 3 because we can't remove threat from it now. We're going to have Dazzler Thor for 2. Drop this down to 1. Should take a consequential damage. And we're going to have Polaris swing at Spiral for 2. That'll bring it from 12 down to 10. Polaris will take a consequential damage. All right, and then we're going to flip down here to Alter Ego, and then we're going to end our turn. Let's ready back up. And then draw back up to our hand size of 6 here because we no longer have the fantasy thing adding our hand size. And we want to flip down to Alter Ego, so she's going to scheme and lose that Confuse. Okay, so it is Spiral's turn. She's going to add 1 to the main scheme. She's going to scheme and activate on us because we're in Alter Ego. And yeah, so she's confused, so she doesn't activate. And then she has a force response after she activates, place 1 teleport counter on her. Since she was confused, she did not activate, so she gets no counters. Then we get a face on counter card, which is Dragon. So this has Retaliate 1 and Toughness. Double the amount of damage this minion takes from cards with a printed mental or energy resource. And then when defeated, each player draws 4 cards. Okay. And then that is the end of the round. So temporary cards we play at the end of the round, so we lose the practice defense. Let's check our discard out here. Do we have another priority target? Oh, we lost both of them. Then we could draw 6 cards if we play it on the Dragon. Well, the thing is, we do have Phoenix and we have Tactical Brilliance. So if we do that, let's check here. Is our Visor an energy resource? Oh, it's physical. So it doesn't do double damage. She is energy, so she would do 4, right? Because double the damage. Yeah, she's energy, so she does 4 as well. So that would be 8. And then we get the Visor to pierce off tough. I think that's going to be the play here. I don't want to flip over hero form, but it's fine because we have blindfold. But I think I have to get rid of her to play the hand, and I would like to keep her. Okay, so that means that in order to do, okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, okay, we have enough already, so we don't need to do anything else. Okay, let's go ahead and flip over here to, actually, should we use, let's use Concentrating first. Search your deck for a tactic upgrade, add to your hand. Let's look here for a rapid response, I think, and we're gonna put that in our hand. Okay, then we're gonna flip over here to hero form, where we have the X-Men trait again. And then we are going to have Cyclops swing for 1. Yeah, knock off the tough stats card from the Dragon. He's going to retaliate, hit us back for 1. We lose our tough stats card. Then we're going to use this right here as 2 resources. So we can play a Tactical Brilliance. Hero action, thwart, remove 3 threat from a scheme. Let's take 3 off of the main scheme. And it says choose a tactic card in your discard pile, add to your hand. Let's get our priority target and add this back to our hand here. Then we're going to attach the priority target to the Dragon right here. So he's Retaliate, Toughness, double the amount of damage he takes from cards with a printed mental or printed energy resource. So Dazzler is a mental. Who do we want to not take Retaliate? Probably Dazzler. So Polaris is going to swing here for 2. Since she's an energy, it's going to do double. So it does 4 damage to him. She's going to take a Retaliate and then a consequential damage. So 2 more damage. I'll leave her 1 hit point thanks to the Uncanny X-Men. Angel's going to swing here for 2. So 2 more damage on him. He would take a Retaliate and consequential, but he also has 4 hit points thanks to the Uncanny X-Men, so he's still alive. Then Dazzler here is going to swing for 2, double it with his effect because she's a energy, so 4 damage. That would knock him out. He would not retaliate on Dazzler, but she would take consequential damage. And then he is defeated. So whenever he is defeated, each player draws 4 cards with the priority target. Whenever the attached enemy is defeated, we draw 2. So we're going to draw 6 cards here after defeating the Dragon. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So we got a pretty big hand here. I think what we want to do is, I think we want to full blast her here. So we got to play upgrade on her. So we're going to play, yeah, we're going to play practice defense. Attach an enemy, we're going to give this a spiral. So now she has a tactic upgrade on her. And then we want to use this right here is a double resource. Oh, do we get beast? We might need beast for the resources. But I want to play blindfold here to look at the encounter deck. Yeah, let's use this as a double resource so we can play blindfold. She's 2 cost because of the Uncanny X-Men. When she enters play, we can exhaust Utopia to ready up another X-Men card. Let's ready up Cyclops. And then we're going to use blindfold's effect. After she enters play, look at the top 5 cards of the encounter deck. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can discard 1 and put the rest back in the same order. So this would be her boost, which is fine. And we're either going to get Avalanche or Magneto as our... Let's see, after he engages exhausted character, you control D1 damage to a character. Magneto says just villainous. After he activates, place a magnet counter on him. I think we would rather get Magneto as our minion here. Should activate once, get 1 teleport counter. And I think we can knock her out next turn. So let's discard Avalanche and put the rest back here in the same order because Magneto does not have guard. This doesn't affect anything. Yeah, okay. So put everything back on top like that. Okay, then what is the plan? Oh yeah, we're gonna play a full blast here. So let's use our optic blast ability. Spend 1 resource of any type to do 3 damage to enemy with an upgrade attached. So she has an upgrade on her right now with the practice defense. This would be 1 resource right here. So we use our optic blast on Spiral. Then as an interrupt, we can use, let's use this right here as a resource to play full blast. When you use your optic blast ability, exhaust Cyclops, the attack deals 8 additional damage and gains overkill. So 8 plus 3 is going to be 11 damage. That will bring Spiral from 10 down to 0. And then we will defeat her and bring her over to her 3rd and final stage here. It says, if there are at least 3 teleport counters on her, remove all of them and flip her. When reviewed, Spiral attacks each player, even in Arch Ego. So she's going to attack us here. We're going to have blindfold block this attack. Oh, so we get Magneto as a boost. I did not calculate that right. Okay, that's fine. So she's hitting with a base of 3 plus a boost of 0. That will knock blindfold out with her 3 hit points with the Uncanny X-Men. And I'm not sure what we're getting now. That resolves a full blast. And then she has 17 hit points. And then I believe this gets discarded after defeating her. So 70 hit points here. She's still on there. Okay, and it's still our turn. So I think, what do we do here? Do we want to get Phoenix down, I think. Okay, let's use this as 2 resources because Phoenix has 2 costs, so we can play Phoenix. After she enters play, choose a Cyclops card in your discard pile, add to your hand. We're going to get Full Blast back to our hand here from our discard. And then wait a minute, do we have any more tactic? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oof, we have 1 more tactic upgrade. We need to draw it. Okay, so we get the Full Blast to our hand, and then that is going to end our turn, I think. Actually, let's have Phoenix swing for 2 at Spiral. I'll bring it from 17 down to 15. She would take a consequential damage, and then now that ends our turn. So let's ready everyone back up. And then we're going to draw back up to our hand size of 5 here in hero form. Okay, we got the exploit witness. Okay, so we have the kill shot. I'm not sure. Oh, and we got attack with brilliance to get a tactic upgrade. Okay, so Spiral's turn. She's going to add 1 threat to the main. She's going to attack us now. Base of 3 plus a boost card here, which is Magneto, but I'm not sure what his boost effect is. We're going to have Angel block this attack. And the boost here, oh, just 3. So 3 plus 3 is 6 damage. That knocks out Angel. Then we get a face down encounter card, which is Master Plan. Place 4 threat on each side scheme. So this goes from 3 up to 7. Okay. And then that resolves the Master Plan, and it is back to our turn. Okay. Okay, so it's back to our turn. I think we just finished Spiral off here. Let's use this as a resource so it can play Exploit Weakness attached to an enemy. Max 1 per enemy. So we're going to give this a Spiral. Increase the amount of damage attached enemy takes from each attack by 1. And then let's go ahead and have, we can move everything a little bit over here. We're gonna have Phoenix swing for 2 at Spiral. It does additional damage because of the, oh, I forgot. Actually, attack, she gets a teleport counter, right? Because after she activates, we were supposed to place that earlier. Okay, so anyways, back to our turn. Phoenix swings for 2, it does additional damage, so it does 3. That'll bring it from 15 down to 12. Phoenix would take a consequential damage. And then we're going to use our Optic Blast. Spend 1 resource of any type. Let's use a resource right here to do 3 damage to an enemy with the upgrade attached, Spiral. Then we use this as a resource to play a Full Blast. Interrupt, when we use your Optic Blast ability, we can exhaust Cyclops. The attack deals 8 additional damage and overkill. So 8 plus 3 is 11. And Explode Weakness will increase the amount of damage attached enemy takes for each attack by 1. So 11 plus 1 is 12. That will bring Spiral from 12 down to 0. And hopefully we played this scenario correctly this time. And yeah, that's the second scenario of the Mojomania campaign. And let's take a look here at the victory stuff. Record in the campaign log whether the longshot ally is in play. He is not in play. Check off the name of each module set used in this scenario. Okay, so we're going to check off, what do we have here? We have sitcom, sci-fi, and fantasy. So we're going to check these off. And then each player may choose 1 support or upgrade they control with a cost of 2 or less. 3 or less if there's less than 10 threat per player on the main scheme. So we're going to pick Utopia here because we already have Uncanny X-Men from the Magog scenario. And then we get to start with that, with Utopia and Uncanny X-Men in our final scenario against Mojo at the cost of additional threat on the main scheme. And then we also record each identity's remaining hit points in the campaign log, which is going to be 10. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this gameplay, and hopefully this one is correct. Let me know if I did anything wrong, and I'll see you guys in the last one against Mojo.